Have you ever wanted to work and live in Japan? Well, here's how. The easiest way to get into Japan to live and work is through an English teaching program. There's absolutely no problem in trying to get a job in your specific field, but you will need to have a pretty high level of Japanese to get through. So if you don't have a high level of Japanese, but you still want to come here to live and work, then the best way is through an English teaching program. There's the JET program, AEON, and Interac, to name a few. No matter which organization you end up applying for, the process is broadly similar. There's an application followed by an interview. Now here are my tips to getting through that process. Tip number 1, be genuinely curious in Japan. It's really important to convey through your application or to your interviewer that you're interested in Japan. Now, having the interest in anime and gaming is not bad, but that might not be enough to convince them that you want to live and work here, because living and working in Japan is usually sort of a long-term endeavor. The best way to do this is to find something about Japan that really intrigues you. For example, is it a particular custom or tradition? Is there something about Japan's history that you want to learn more about? Is it the language itself? Tip number 2. This is a really easy one. Follow the rules. In every application process, there's a set of rules or parameters that you need to follow. So when it comes to the JET program, for example, your application essay can't be more than 2 pages, and there's a requirement as to spacing and font size. Don't work outside those parameters, because if you do, you'll be showing the interviewing panel that you can't follow instructions. Now, working as an English teacher in a foreign environment where you don't understand the language, it's very important that you have the ability to listen and follow instructions. So don't give your interviewing panel any reason to reject you just because you didn't follow a simple rule. Number 3, sell your teaching specific skills. Now, a lot of people who come to Japan to work as English teachers don't actually have English teaching experience, and that's fine. That's completely fine. I myself had no English teaching experience. But what I did show in my application, and what you should show in your application, is that you have transferable skills. For example, you can communicate with others, you can follow instructions, you know how to be flexible. Being flexible is super important because coming to a foreign country, you're going to be put in a lot of unforeseen circumstances. You're going to be in situations you didn't think you could encounter. So you need to be adaptable and flexible to your surrounding environment. And as part of that, you want to show that you're a friendly person. Whether it's in your essay or at the interview, be friendly. You have to be friendly with your teachers and your students. So even if you secretly hate kids, just be like, you fucking love them. Tip number 4, a really easy one, be consistent. Make sure what is written in your application comes through in your interview. At the same time, try not to overwhelm your interviewing panel with brand new information. Try and memorize your application back to front and convey it properly through your interview. Again, don't give the interviewing panel any cause for concern, any reason to put a little asterisk next to your name. Tip number 5, the last tip, is be yourself. Now that sounds super cliche, and if it was me watching, I'd probably click the X button, so if you do that, no problem at all. But you want to convey through your application and interview that you've got something unique to offer, that there's something that you can bring to the table. I wouldn't try and copy someone else's application that, someone else that you heard was successful through this process. Don't try and copy them. Be yourself. I've met so many people living and working in Japan as English teachers, and they're all so different. These programs are looking to recruit a broad variety of different types of people. The more variety there is, the better it is for the kids. So be yourself, be awesome, because you can definitely get through this. Now there's a bonus tip, thanks for staying till the end. The bonus tip is try and articulate a goal related to Japan. For me, I said I wanted to pass the N3 proficiency test by the end of 2023. Now, what that shows is that you're thinking long-term, you're thinking about the future. There's no need to stay in Japan more than the 1-year contract that you're offered. If you show them that you're thinking long-term, they can be comfortable in knowing that you're not going to leave, 3 months after getting to Japan, because there's a lot of money that's spent in training you, recruiting you, sending you over, flying you back. So they want to know that their investment is solid. Now, for those of you who are wondering, I am on the JET program. I live in Shimane on the Oki Islands. I'm away on a far remote rural island, and at first I was terrified, but it's actually been an amazing experience, and I'm hoping to post more videos about that soon. So to help you guys out, I'm going to link a copy of my statement of purpose, which is basically your application essay for the JET program, and hopefully it will serve as some sort of inspiration. Don't try and copy it, because then you wouldn't be listening to my 5th tip, if you were listening, which is be yourself. But it will give you a sense of structure, a way to sell yourself, and hopefully give you some talking points for your application. Ordinarily, I have no problems with plagiarism. I used to say in university, it's only plagiarism if you get caught. But when it comes to an application essay, it will become so obvious in the interview that you've told a half lie or half truth about yourself. So in this case, don't plagiarize, but in other cases, thanks guys for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you need any tips on your application personally, send me a comment and I'll respond to it as soon as I can. Good luck with the applications, and let me know, where would you want to live if you came to Japan? On a final note, I believe the applications for the JET program are now open. Fuck!